Our first technique is a respiratory resistance exercise. So basically, it's a breathing technique so we can strengthen our ability to inhale more freely, and we're also going to strengthen our body's ability to support the voice. And we're going to use our vocal folds to also train the muscle memory and the strength of our inner edges at the same time. It's one of my favorite techniques. So to start off with, and let me just say before I get into this, you can of course use your warm-up that's in the section across here. You can use your warm-up to just go right into the practice, but do it with me the first few times just to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. So we're going to inhale with a glottal fry sound. So I'm just going to check my larynx and just, I feel it move down as I make that crackly sound. Now this is the key. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They'll go, and they get locked up here. Don't forsake your body. By now, having done phase one, you know what it means to let the breath come all the way down to your root, to your perineum, to the coccyx, to the anus. You know, whoa, it sounds weird, but we want to let it come all the way down to the root, to that runway area, as some of you call it. And we want it to start down there. This is our indication, or our indicator, used to see that the stream is coming in nice and refined, but you want to feel it kind of start with that anchoring in the root and then work its way up. So as I'm inhaling, I'm not just going, I'm not doing that, but I'm, the steadier the better with the crackle. I feel it reach my root, then I feel my lower back kind of extend and release, then I feel my lower ribs, side ribs open. I feel my chest broaden and my shoulders release. And my spine lengthens a little bit more, actually. And so now I'm up. I've been decompressed with this breath, okay? Now, you can do the same without stopping. Of course, I was stopping to kind of narrate the process. But if I shake it all off and do it again without stopping, then it might look something like this. And I had that Darth Vader exhale, also known as Ujjayi. Ujjayi is just that audible inhale resulting from that, pressurized or refined breath stream that gives us some sound because it involves our cords a little bit. So that being said, in phase one, we're kind of taught this kind of, low body breath here, stomach and sides and back. What you're going to find as we get more advanced is that the breathing attains much more of a V shape to the body. Some people, we call it the eagle, tail out, chest out. Some people think of it as a greyhound effect, like the racing dogs. Is that what it is? Racing dog, greyhound. The dogs that race, greyhound. And we also have the cobra head, and we're about to get into that now. So this is like an old Swedish Italian school kind of idea, and it's shared in some other disciplines. But on my inhale, I'm opened up. On my exhale, as the breath leaves my body, my support muscles engage. So your support muscles are your respiratory muscles, are your respiratory breathing. Your support muscles are your respiratory muscles, are your posture muscles. And they also help to compress the breath to support your voice on the exhale. So what happens is when I make the vocal fry steady, as I intend to make it really steady, controlling that pressure, it summons forth my dramatic way of saying it summons forth my support muscles to where my transverse abdominis engages and my posterior chain engages to kind of lift me and give me even more height. And you'll see my body shape change a little bit. So I'm going to relax and I'm going to So, I don't know how much of that you can see, but my transverse abdominis, the way they work, they're bringing me in, but also a little bit up at the lower abdomen. And my back is also lifting me up a little bit. And my rib cage kind of swings backward as it flares out a bit, giving me a cobra head kind of feeling. So we go from eagle inhale to like a cobra exhale, okay? And how much of this you feel depends on your current level of strength. If you're someone who's internally weak, don't take it personally. It's not a judgment. It's just an assessment. If you're someone who's internally weak, you may not feel this happening at all. And that's okay. You have to build the strength up a little bit. If you're someone who's stronger, you might feel some of it happening, but not all of it. And so we measure strength, diaphragm strength, in three ways. Through activity, number one. What muscles can you feel working? What muscles are active? Two is sensitivity. And three is responsiveness. So when I'm inhaling, I feel my perineum. Do you feel that? Are you active there? If you're not, then you have some work to do. I feel my low back lengthen, and then I feel these ribs come out. Those three things. Can you feel that? If you can't, work on that before you move on. It's just really unwise to try to press forward without having a solid foundation. And at this point, I know that we're impatient and we want to be better now, and we just want to go on to the next thing and get to the good stuff. But this is so important in really mastering your instrument. So you really want to have that awareness. The second thing, though, is the sensitivity. So not only do the muscles need to be working, but how clearly can you feel them? You might be one of those people who go, I can kind of feel it, but I don't know, I kind of do. That's fine, and that's valid. You may be feeling them in a more subtle way. The thing about atrophy is that not only do the muscles get weak, but our ability to feel sensation in those areas also weakens. So as we strengthen these muscles, your ability to feel them, literally, to sense them, to feel sensation in these parts of your body will go up. And you'll go from, and if my students who worked with me for a while know this to be very true, you'll go from, I kind of feel it, to, oh, whoa, there it is. And that's a whole different thing. So when you're at the point where you're like, whoa, that's my perineum right there, or whoa, I feel my anus. It's a really weird thing to say, but you'll know it when you feel it. And you're like, oh, Eric wasn't crazy. He was telling the truth. And you'll really feel your body responding. That lets you know you're getting stronger. The responsiveness part is how fast does it kick in. Sometimes people don't feel it until the point of maximum inflation, like when you're almost completely full, and then you're like, oh, now I feel it. Or to the point of breath exhaustion, when you're almost completely empty, to these extremes. Sometimes people are exhaling, oh, I felt it then. If you feel it at the extremes only, then your responsiveness score is kind of low. But if you can feel your body react as soon as you start, if I'm exhaling a vocal fry, I can feel my body start to engage immediately. That means I'm internally strong. It's not about talent. It's not even about intelligence. It's just about conditioning. Have you been doing it? So what I mean is it's repetition. It's healthy, repetition of the proper techniques to strengthen these muscles, okay? This is the foundation for pretty much everything that we do from here on out. So it's very important that you really get it down. I know it could be kind of like, oh, I just want to move on to the next thing, but try to be as patient as possible to really make sure that you're clearly feeling what I'm talking about. If you're not sure if you're feeling everything that I'm talking about, then you're not. So, like I said before, when you know for certain, that's when your sensitivity is where we want it to be. When you can say, oh, I definitely feel a little bit of pressure on the inhale, expanding my perineum, my coccyx area even. I feel the release in my low back. I feel the opening of my rib cage and that what I call a panoramic chest, the chest opening up and the shoulders releasing. When you know you feel that, then you're ready. Okay? So with the vocal fry, what you might be finding out is that with the vocal fry portion, inhaling it may not feel easier at first, but it's a lot less strainy kind of pressure on the vocal folds. So when you inhale, you feel like you're getting creak around all day, whatever. But when you do the exhale part, it might feel like, they might feel tight. So what we want to do is disengage the digastric muscle. So that's the muscle underneath here. It's really kind of like a combo attack, too many video games. It's a combination of this whole like kind of 1, 2 under the chin. If you think of this whole area, I'll flash an image up on the screen. So what we want to do is not to get it to stop working forever, but just to kind of get it out of the way while we vocalize, just long enough to let the vocal folds know that they can vibrate without these muscles working. So I'm going to brace my chin with my index finger, and then I'm going to push up with my thumb very firmly, like as much as I can without hurting myself. I'm going to really push up. And I'm like kind of pushing my tongue up from underneath. And now I'm going to vocal fry. So instead of, I'm going to, and I'm moving my thumb around. And I'm pushing the muscle up. As strong as the digastric muscle is, thankfully, our hands, our thumbs are stronger, and so we can push up and disengage long enough to give the vocal folds a chance to do stuff on their own. And the really cool thing about your body is that if you give the vocal folds a chance to do something more efficiently, they're really inclined to remember that and hold on to that kind of coordination and that kind of behavior. So I'm just going to let the breath come down to my root. I'm going to be really nagging you about that a lot, and I'll let it open up my body. My body attains more of that kind of V-shape-ish feel. It may not be a perfect V-shape, but it has more that kind of feel as opposed to the belly being out, because now I'm breathing length into my body, as well as my stomach is relaxed. I have a soft stomach right now, so let your stomach be soft, but because I'm breathing into my perineum or my root, and I'm allowing my spine to kind of grow from that and to kind of lengthen from that, and my chest and ribcage to lengthen, it really opens me more up here than down here. Okay, I just want to be clear with that. So now I'm going to push up before I even start vocalizing, and I'm going to slide down from my head voice place. I'm just kind of, and I want you to seek out pain. And I want to be clear here. I don't want you to hurt yourself on purpose, but feel around for any parts that might be tender. Like, and I mean tender in a muscular tightness way. Like if you were getting a massage and the masseuse finds a knot right here, so I'm like, ow, but they want to work it. That's what we're doing, just under here. Find the knots and work them out, okay? Don't be a wimp, you know. I'm not even going to say be a man, because I have a lot of my female clients a lot tougher than some of my male clients. But just be tough, whatever that means to you. And like I know for me, a part of my digastric area that if I'm not careful can get tight is like right under on the right side of like the chin, kind of here part. Like if here and just go right under, I'll really get under and work that, like this area. Some of my students might have like this side under here, like, or I had a student just the other day. We realized that like right on the side of his larynx, like the windpipe trachea area, we really want to dig in and work that while he vocal fried. So we'd, if it feels tight and if it feels sore, work that. If you're one of the lucky blessed ones who feels no soreness and relatively little to no tightness, then just work everything anyway, okay? Just kind of get it all. And when you're done, you should feel like your voice is noticeably freer for it. Like, and I mean like immediately by the time you're done. So if you give it like a minute or 2 or 3, you know, by the time you're done, you should feel like, oh, this is better. So just, another rule is that I'm not going to name names or bash coaches, but I know that there are some coaches who really encourage taking vocal fry as high as you can go. In my experience, the long-term effects of that are hazardous. Don't fight to hold on to vocal fry. We use vocal fry with A approach as a weight dropping technique. A clarity boosting technique, yes, but a weight dropping technique. If your vocal fry is not coming in easily, then don't tense up to I'm doing it. No, you're not. So I use this. I like to use some imagery here. To me, if you're getting the vocal fry crackly sound, you're definitely doing wonderful things to build up your voice. But if you're squeezing for vocal fry, it's like building a really amazing race car from scratch, like just really building up this really amazing race car while simultaneously building before it a brick wall. So you've got this great instrument, this great vehicle that's going to have to go through this barrier to really get out and do anything. It's not worth strengthening your inner edges if you're also strengthening the muscles that are going to work to block the resonance and to block the sound from moving freely. So you're kind of solving one problem and creating another. Listen to your body. Phase 2, I want you to get a concept that's hard for a lot of people to understand, and that is balance. A lot of people think, oh, if a little bit is good, then a whole lot is better, you know, or push it to the extreme. That's not the way this works. Your body operates on balance. Too much and it collapses. Too little and it collapses. The singing mechanism desperately yearns for balance. And that's why we use the glottal fry sound. Luckily, your body has mechanisms to teach you better than I can or anybody else. Let your body show you a couple things by using certain mechanisms. So when we use fry, if we can hear those individual beats, we're good. But if we get this, we're going too fast, out of balance. If we're getting this, individual beats, pretty good. If you get this, you're out of balance. Okay, don't ignore these things. I can't say how many times I have students who say, when I practiced it, I was doing that a lot, but I just kept going. Or, yeah, it really hurt, but I just kept going. Don't do that. You're a phase 2er now. Yeah, it's okay. I need to come up with better names, but you're a phase 2 student now. Listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, then it's not right. Now, some of the stuff is just weird. I don't mean if it feels embarrassing, but I mean if something feels painful or tight, then something is wrong, okay? So listen to your body. Let's review one more time. And we're going to inhale. We're inhaling our larynx down. Temporarily, it's going to pop right back up to its resting position once you're done. We're going to inhale the larynx down and open up our body with this inhale. We're going to ujjayi, a very refined kind of ujjayi. And now you can see I'm ending on more of an eagle. So this is really doing wonderful things. These are the muscles that help to support your back as well. So if you're somebody who suffers from lower back pain or sciatic pain or whatever, this could be very beneficial for you. I've had many students who rave about, oh my God, this helped my back so much. So it's really great for that because it helps to gently tone the transverse abdominis and it helps to teach your body to lengthen. So yeah, that lengthening, the support reflex is also a lengthening reflex. So you notice that on my exhale, I'll start to get a little wider here, a little longer here as my body engages to really kind of lengthen me and engage that breath. So it's really a whole bunch of good things in one. But feel free to give extra attention to the vocal fry itself. If your vocal fry doesn't feel as free as it could, massage the heck out of this and really just engage it as you fry. I don't really believe... I knew a vocal coach from a prestigious university years ago when I still lived in New Orleans who taught just massaging the digastric muscle all day. In my experience, it's not so much beneficial because I feel like what really works the best, understanding the muscle memory of the vocal folds and how they work, is to let the vocal folds work while you're massaging. The vocal folds need to learn. If you're just massaging it quietly, the vocal folds aren't learning anything from that, and that's the problem. So we want the vocal folds to be coming together. Well, that's not exactly how it works, but to be rippling together to get you that vocal fry sound while you're disengaging that so that the vocal folds learn, hey, we can do this on our own. We don't need the digastric muscle. Same thing with the inhale. The vocal folds learn, hey, we can come together and we don't need the larynx to shoot all the way up into the throat. We don't need this swallowing action to happen all the time. We can do this on our own, which is us and the breath. Bam, I don't know why I'm talking like this, but hopefully you still get the point. All right, let's move on. I want to do one more thing, okay? And that is, what I want to do is show you how you can move this through your range. I've been kind of playing with it already, and you might have too, but we're going to do controlled ujjayi. The reason why I say ujjayi, and you might notice reverse phonation, is because ujjayi, I like to give credit to the originators whenever I can, and who knows who did it before them, but I like to give credit to the yogis of yesteryear because, and I also like to use ujjayi because a lot of times when people think reverse phonation, they do this. I see it all the time from the people who know what reverse phonation is, but ujjayi, if you understand pranayama, then you know that it's a full body thing. It's a full body breath. And so we're working the vocal folds and the body at the same time. So if we move through our range, well, let me rewind a little bit. Most people, when they move through their range, they pinch. Even some well-trained people, you might be one of those people where you can connect, but you're pinching for it. And we want to get that openness. What ujjayi, through a wider pitch range does, I can open it up. get a full sound, okay? I know that wasn't the most melodious thing, but what I want you to try to do is regard your body, have a care, give some concern to the body, and when you inhale, I want you to move through your range like ah, but we're doing it with keeping in mind that we're still filling up this, so it's a lot to think about. Don't fall into this trap. Don't do that. Focus on the cleanest tone you can make. If you get some fry, that's fine. If you don't, then you don't. If you get some kind of squeak, some kind of fry, so be it. But for now, just try to give me a really clear tone as you move. Do you see how I'm letting go of the fry as I go up? Don't be afraid to do that. And if you're someone who's really good and you can fry all the way through and it's easy for you, then do that. But if it's gone, it's gone. And so just crackle where it feels absolutely comfortable. And if you can't crackle, at least get a really clear tone. Also understand that your tone might sound something more like this. That's fine for a start, but eventually, the clearer, the better. I'm sure I look like an insane person right now. So if you're not like dying laughing at the screen, try it with me. And you know, on some days, you can go higher or lower than others. I know I can. And it's the same for any person. Your instrument is biological, you're a human. And so only go as far as you can right now. But if you've got that down, inhale tone, exhale tone. You can also do this with songs. It's on your practice thing, but you can love. You know, I don't know what that was, but you can. Mary had a little lamb. You see, inhale the melody, exhale the melody. You get it? So reverse phonate, regular phonate. Got it? Okay, good. Play with it. You know what to do. If you have questions, ask away on the message board. We will be there to help you. Also play with it with your warm-up. And yeah. Don't go to the next lesson until you get that vocal fry thing down, please. Like, at least reasonably well. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least get a reasonably steady inhale crackle and a reasonably steady exhale crackle on the continual vocal fry. Okay? Play with that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.